Okay, today we're going to start with Lesson 2, Story Structure, Act 1. The assignment is to read and review the material in Story Structure, Act 1. Then you will submit an outline for your book where you demonstrate the plot points for your story using Story Structure, Act 1 as a model. You'll give me each point in your own creative effort. Let's go over Act 1. So you can click on Story Structure Act 1 right here, or you can go over to Creative Writing and get to Act 1 from here as well. We'll go from the link here, which is in the Creative Writing tab. Okay, Story Structure Act 1. Now notice over here on the right where it says click on this link to submit your finished assignment. You can click on that link and upload it, your finished assignment, to me. All right, follow along here as we go through Story Structure Act 1. Now the following is taken from a lecture by Elena Johnson, who in turn used this information from Blake Snyder's Save the Cat. This first part is mine, however. When I was in college music class, we learned that there are these complex rules that composers of each time period followed when writing music. As these rules changed from the classic to the romantic to the baroque, the composers began to follow the new rules. And you could dissect their music and see that they actually did follow these extensive set of rules. What the teacher went on to explain, however, is that the composers at the time never thought about the rules. They were simply writing music. It didn't occur to them to do what they did because the rules dictated that they must. They simply composed. Well, like it or not, no matter how imaginative and creative you are, when you write your story, you're following a set of complex rules as well. You just don't realize it. Just like the composers mentioned above, you write your story. If you go back over what you've written, you'll see that indeed these structure points are all there. So let's begin with all good books have 3 acts, 2 break-into points, and 15 beats. Now these beats make up the complex rules that writers follow when they write a good story. And beats are critical because they're the turning points in the story which make it satisfying to the reader. The first act is outlined below. We'll start with Act 1. This is the beginning of the story where certain things take place, including the first 6 beats. During Act 1, we're introduced to our main character and the world he lives in. The author will let us know about several, possibly 6, though that number may vary, things that need to be fixed, either in the character or the world that he lives in. I like to think of Act 1 as the point at which the main character is a mass of clay. He could be or do anything at this point. All we know is by the end of the story, he'll be fully formed, whereas right now he isn't. Okay? The following also lists the approximate page numbers where these beats occur in an average 330-page book. Okay? Beat 1, the opening image. This is the starting point where we get a snapshot of our main character and other characters that play a part of his life. He is unaffected at this point by the events the story is about to force on him. It's here that you introduce your main character and the world he lives in. As part of that, you have to help the reader learn the rules of this world. It may be a bit slow at first, but don't worry, this beginning is necessary. That's the first beat. Beat 2, the theme gets stated, about page 15. Every book has a theme, some sort of moral it will address through the telling of the story. It's at this point that the theme of the story is revealed. Usually it isn't the main character who expresses it. It'll be someone else, like his best friend or a parent. They'll make an offhand comment like, "Be careful what you wish for," not knowing, of course, that they're subconsciously placing the theme into the mind of the reader. Beat 3, the setup. Pages between pages 1 through 30. Not only is this section, it's about 30 pages, where you'll use exposition to explain things. This is also the part of the story where several other things get set up. Okay, things that need fixing. Let's start with those. This is where you will Identify, not necessarily in so many words, the things about the character or the world that need fixing. It could be items your main character needs to overcome. It could be weaknesses of his which need to be made strong. These things are up to you, but these 6 things, more or less, are the setup for what you are promising the reader he will see taken care of through the course of your tale. Main plot, or A plot. This is also the section that makes up your main plot or your A plot. We find out how your characters see the world, how they act with each other, also where they come from, why they do certain things, who their parents are, etc. Perhaps introduce some things which will motivate or dictate some of their later actions. And now we make a promise to the reader. It's at this point that the writer should be setting the reader up for many cool, exciting, interesting, and wonderful things that are to come. Make your promises to your reader here. It's important that expectations be made and, of course, finally realized. Beat for the catalyst, around page 36. The catalyst is the element or the event in the story that propels your main character into a new world. For example, in The Wizard of Oz, it'd be the tornado. In your book, it could be just about anything. Someone's death, the loss of a job, viewing a meteorite hurling toward the earth, discovering that your dog can turn invisible, whatever. It changes things forever. It shatters the world that your character knew up until that point. Now, in the case of Harry Potter, it's the letter from Hogwarts. For Spider-Man, it's when he's bit by the spider. There's always some event that changes things. That's the catalyst. Beat 5, debate, pages 36 to 75. This is the part of the story where the main character has to decide what he's going to do with what happened to him. Should he move forward into a strange new world or not? He debates this within himself. He looks at the angles. The writer lets us see the process and the pain of the process as well. As you can see from the page numbers recommended above, it may take some time to go through this process, 36 through 75. That's a few pages. And it can be interesting. You can really open up your character in this section, so we really get to know him better. Beat 6, break into 2. This is the second part, page 75 about. This is the moment the main character decides to leave the old world for the new one. It's a distinct moment. There's an act of some sort that defines this decision. We see it happen. It can't be something subtle. The decision to move into this new world must be the character's. He can't be forced into it. It has to be his decision. And the decision to do so must be his and his alone. So this break into 2 is where the main character moves on and begins his journey. Okay, now that's it for Act 1. Act 2 is posted already, and you can find it back up at the top here by going to Creative Writing, Story Structure, Act 2. But for now, we'll have you find all these points in your own creative work, point them out on the assignment that you'll turn in to me, and you'll click on this link right here, and once you've completed that assignment, click on the link there, and then you can upload the assignment to me. All right, very good. That is Story Structure Act 1.